With the new Ferrari Pure Sang coming out, or however you say it, Pure Sangue, let's take a look back at the most recent Ferrari 4-seater hatchback, the Ferrari GTC4Lusso T. We're gonna take it out for a drive today and see what makes it not only an amazing package, but why somebody would choose the V8 Lusso over the V12. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. If you'd like to see all my future supercar content, including plenty of car reviews to come, go ahead and take a quick walk around the car. We reviewed an FF about a year ago or so. There are quite a lot of, in my opinion, improvements. It is a much sleeker design, more modernized. I think it's overall a much more attractive car. Do you have a relatively kind of happy front end here? Not super aggressive, but it does look nice. Looks kind of like, looks friendly, right? Like it looks like he'd want to be your friend. Do you have these nice, I don't know what you call it, these gills? Yeah. Of course, your classic Ferrari badge right there, Scuderia shield. Compared to the FF, we don't have one side by side, unfortunately, but it seems like it's definitely a little bit lower down the roofline. And my favorite angle on the car is the rear angle, rear quarter panels. Massive exhaust tips. Hey, some duckies.
Duckies.
Let's go ahead and open up the trunk. It does open up automatically, which is very nice. You do have your Ferrari duffel bag so you can flex at the airport. You do have your personalization specifications plaque right here. This car, as you can see, is finished in Grigio Titanio Metallic. Sitting in the Lusso, it is a wonderful place to be. Very spacious in here, plenty of headroom. Got nice kind of magnetized center console area. USB ports, Apple CarPlay. Easy access to the back seats, and the back seats have easy access to the trunk. Couple cup holders. It can't fit a Mandalorian corksicle. Ugh. I mean, yeah, you kind of. Do you have your passenger display here, which is probably the coolest option in the car. You see your rev counter here, your miles per hour, your G-force meter. Let's go ahead and test out the backseat legroom. Now, this is a 2+2. So that equals 4. So that means that 4 adults should be able to fit. Italian adults are a bit different than American adults, but I'm about 6'3". This is not too low, which is nice. This feels cooler than up there. Little nervous. Okay. Yeah. You know what? I could do this all day long. 8, 9 hour, 10 hour drive, just fine. A normal person's hair who's not Jimmy Neutron would have a good 3 inches of headroom, you know, in a sort of normal position where a normal sized adult would be. This is much better. I can relax. I can do 199 miles an hour in comfort. What happens if I put my seat where I would sit? Put this back.
A little less comfy, but like still impressively doable. But like if there wasn't a handle for me to get out of here, I genuinely would be stuck here the rest of my life.
A 3.9 liter twin turbo V8, 601 brake horsepower, 560 foot-pounds of torque. Let's do a quick second gear pull.
She's not slow.
She moves 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. Oof. Top speed 199 miles an hour. And the fact that you can do that with 4 adults in the car, you know, it can bring along all the homies.
Whipping it.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Yeah, wow. That is grooving.
She turns.
Of course, your 7-speed dual clutch transmission. I mean, just one of the best transmissions in the industry. They just keep getting better and better. No complaints. Quick, precise, satisfying. Feels very like Cali T-esque, I would say. I mean, it shares the same engine as the Cali T, so of course it's going to feel relatively similar the way the engine acts. What doesn't feel very similar, I would say, is the size. It doesn't feel as big as the FF. I don't think. And it's not as heavy as the V12 version. This is about 120 pounds lighter. And kind of tight corners like that, it does shrink around you a bit more. When you're on just an open straight, you you kind of feel a bit more of the size. Turning on this, as you'd expect from Ferrari, incredibly quick. Not a whole lot of feedback to the steering, I wouldn't say. I mean, it's kind of, you know, it's electric power steering, so not the most road feel. Ooh, a little pop on the upshifts. Because this car is turbocharged, I can feel the extra torque, I would say. It's a very torquey motor from down low. The V12 is more of a rev-happy engine, as you would expect. This revs to 7,500, while the V12 revs to, I think, like 8,300 RPM, around that range. This car is like LeBron James, right? He's 6'8".
Yeah, he's big.
He's built like a fucking train.
Yeah.
You would think that he wouldn't be the most versatile, agile player, but he does everything. Now, styling-wise, I think this car looks miles better than the FF. The FF I still thought was a pretty good looking car. A lot of people kind of find it ugly, unfortunately. I don't sense a whole lot of turbo lag. It's pretty responsive. Ferrari going turbocharged, it was already quite controversial to begin with, so they made sure, right? They went the extra mile to make sure that it still sounded good. Not as good as the other cars, but it still sounded good. And B, didn't feel turbocharged, right? Because part of the essence of a Ferrari is A, the scream, but it's the linear progression of speed and power. That is not a bad sound. The drawback, I'd say, compared to the V12 is that it's not a V12. And so it doesn't sound like a V12. It doesn't have that scream. But for whatever, I think starting price, this was maybe, I don't know, $70,000 less than a V12. But if you want the rear-wheel drive characteristics, you have to go with this, because you cannot slide in the V12 Lusso. I'm sure you could. It's a little more sketchy though if you want to get to that point. In this car, because of the rear-wheel drive and because of the little more playfulness in the back end, you can feel everything moving around beneath you a little bit more than the all-wheel drive counterpart. Ferraris should be playful like that, and this kind of gives you the option. And it's not like this car sounds bad. It's a deeper tone than the V12 and even the NA V8 from a couple of generations ago. You can run the quarter mile in 11.4 seconds. That is impressive. And you can drive this across the country. Does it feel like a Ferrari? I would say so. From a visual standpoint, of course, there's Ferrari everywhere. Steering wheel, badge right here, badge right there. It doesn't want you to forget that this is still a Ferrari. Underpass, underpass.
I don't mind it.
It is quite a long front end, so placing this car is not as simple as a 488 or an F8. It's no SLS AMG. Perfect seating position, steering wheel's right in front of my chest. I mean, everything feels, it's your typical Ferrari DNA in a family hatchback. Carbon ceramic brakes as well. Pedal feels phenomenal. Brake check. Brake check.
Braking. She stops.
She does do that.
Oh, I wasn't ready.
Yeah, that is...
Wow, I wasn't expecting that.
That is substantial. It still gets quite a bit of attention. I think the average non-car person is probably surprised when they see this as a Ferrari. Doesn't really look like your typical Ferrari. I'd say it gets attention because of more so due to confusion than it being a cool car. You know what I mean? Like if I was a non-car person, I saw a hatchback Ferrari, I'd be like, what the fuck?
They make those? Just dropped?
Just dropped? Fit a cap? W? Normally by now in a supercar, my back would be kind of on fire, but because these seats are nice and because the ride isn't too harsh, I'm feeling pretty good.
I am properly startled.
This feels faster than the FF, which has 50 more horsepower than this.
This thing feels really quick.
Yeah.
I think it's just the torque.
It is.
There's so
It's
much
the torque.
in this thing.
Transmission's probably, it's a little bit faster. An astonishing package, I would say. If you want the everyday family type of Ferrari with a little bit more of a playful feel to it, this is your car. But I would absolutely take this across the country over and over again. It's got Apple CarPlay.
Done.
Makes it very easy.
Done.
Pretty decent sound system.
Shake it up, shake it up.
Oh, comfort. Let's test the bumps in comfort mode. Might as well be in a Rolls Royce. So comfort mode, gear changes are still quick, but they're not as punchy. I mean, in comfort mode, it is just a little bit, I wouldn't say it's like night and day, but I do feel it softened a little bit. It does have, of course, your automatic settings, so everything just shifts very smoothly. Very uneventful. Kind of feels like a normal car.
I concur.
But that's boring. Put it back in sport mode. True. Facts. So the question is, why would somebody say, get this car over the V12 car? I mean, the biggest answer is just simply price. I mean, that's probably the main answer is price, right? For an extra, whatever, 50 to 70,000 more, you get the V12. That's a lot of money. Styling wise, this looks the same as the V12. If you get the V8, do you regret not having the V12? Right? Because if you park it next to a guy at a car show and he says, this is the V12, right? And you're like, no, it's the V8. And he'll go, oh. But you can do donuts. Yeah. You see that kind of back end kind of gets loose a little bit. There are plenty of trade-offs, like I said. This is a more lively driving experience over the V12 in terms of the handling. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel down below. And I will see you guys in the next one. Got some very nice looking air vents here that are very lubricated. Yep.
Yeah, they're moving and grooving.
Oh yeah, check out that rotation right there. Look at that. You can close them, I think, by doing that. It's a very satisfying Ferrari Lusso air vent ASMR.